Hey everyone, welcome to Wolpin's Gaming Den. Today we're going to unbox the game Lawyer Up, designed by Samuel W. And Bailey, sorry, my apologies, and Mike Nade, and published by Rock Manor Games. I have to say that I really find the theme of this very appealing. It's definitely a highly underused one as far as board games are concerned. There's not a lot of games out there with this theme, and I'm really excited to see how the implementation of this one works. I've had a quick look into the rules for it, and it does look like that a lot of the mechanics in the game strongly tie in with the theme of having a court case or a legal drama slash proceeding, whatever, ongoing. So I'm really excited about trying this one out. But for the purpose of this unboxing, obviously we're going to focus on the components and the stuff that we get in the box. So we'll crack into it and see what's happening on the inside. It is a game designed for 2 players. So it's very specifically for 2 players. Expected to be played in roughly 60 minutes. Now, the cases that you get in the game can be played in a short form, medium, or long version. So I assume that that 60 may vary depending on which one of those that you're trying out, but that's for a later video to check up on and confirm. And if again, it's a card driven game, so obviously I expect that there's going to be a lot of cards in the game, and it does look that way based on the back of the box itself. So let's crack into it and see what's happening. Yeah, and again, the form factor, it's a 2-player only games, and it feels pretty compact in terms of what you're getting. So I'm excited to see what's happening in this one. So let's get into it. All right. And with the shrink off, we get a better, clearer view of the front cover, and the artwork is definitely quite decent. It looks like you have this sort of like in a shiny golden font. Certainly makes for a striking cover. So overall, good first impression. Let's crack into it and see what we get on the inside. So standard inside of the lid. Pretty compact rule book, very compact rule book. So I'm just going to zoom in very quickly. So this is the core rule book, the components that you get in there, game overview. So basically it's a 2-player courtroom drama card game where 1 player represents the noble prosecution and the other the steadfast defense. So you're basically going to be playing through particular cases, and I think the base game comes with 2 of them, which we'll have a look at in a minute. So runs you through the core concepts, game setup, numbered setup, so always useful. Art forgery is the case 00, and the murder trial setup is, the murder trial rather, is the case 01. So those are the 2 that we get in the game. You'll go through the discovery phase, you'll go through the trial itself, you'll call witnesses, you get to question them. It walks you through the anatomy of a card itself, so there's a symbology is going to play a big part of the mechanics, from what I understand. Sidebar, objections, examples, resolving the witness, draw, end state, ending the game. So it does look like there's strong thematic ties with the mechanics of the game itself. So again, something that I'm very excited about trying out for myself. Closing statements for case 00, closing statements for case 01, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe there's 2 expansions for this out already. So if you like what you see in here, there's a couple of other sets you can get up, and they're relatively inexpensive ones as well. So you get some additional rules here, biases, judge biases, and there's a solo mode. That's interesting. Set up the game as normal, discovery. So it looks like you can play the game solo as well, and it's a variant in here. So that's interesting. I didn't realize there was a solo version in here as well, because on the box it very clearly does say 2-player only. So that's there. Now, again, very compact form factor. Cards are going to be a big part of it, so we'll definitely have a look at these in a minute, but for now I'm going to put these aside, and let's have a look at what we get in the rest of the stuff in here. So here, these, if I'm not mistaken, are the dividers for the different cards. Cases, the two cases, cards for the prosecution, and cards for the defense. So you can use these as dividers in the box itself. That's there. These, by the look of things, are the judge cards. So you get the different judges. Now, stock quality is good, so that's nice. Texture is alright as well. Quality of the artwork is definitely leans more towards sort of like realistic artwork, so that's there. I mean, I like this kind of art style, so it kind of works for me, so that's good. Hopefully it does for you as well if you're looking to try this out. You get a few different reference cards in here. There's a reference card for the Automa as well. Rest conditions, defense, prosecution, right? So you have these cards in here, so you have the judges and the reference cards in here to help you out. These are the jury members, if I'm not mistaken. So let's have a look at these very quickly as well. This is where you're going to have discs that go on in there that tell you how you can sway them, and this is the amount of how easy or difficult it might be for you to sway one of them. It's the amount of surplus points you would have to use from your witness resolution. Small cards, so it's yeah. I mean, I'm just given the fact that you're going to be using the same one again and again. It's a little interesting that you didn't really have these out on a board somewhere, but this I assume just works fine. And again, given the form factor, maybe it was a production decision more than anything else. So that's there. You get these two dials for defense. Seems sturdy enough, and for prosecution, so that's good. And these are sort of like pre-set up. You don't have to worry about setting these up yourself. You get these markers, and these are going to be for the different players for the prosecution and the defense. Oops, lost one there. We'll pick it up later. These I think are the objection. Are these the objection ones? Maybe. And then these might be the sidebar tokens. So, and you get the same in red and blue. So that's these. These are the tokens that go on the jury card, and these will basically tell you the kind of traits you might need to sway certain juries with. Now, those cards were small, so these are definitely quite small as well. Yeah, it's wooden. It's not plastic. It feels like standard wooden components, so nothing much to write home about as far as these are concerned. And you get these two dice with the king, and these are definitely small. Yeah, these are definitely small dice, the standard d6s, but I assume they will get the job done for whatever you might need them. Not sure where they fit in as far as the rules are concerned, but we'll figure that out. So that's there. You get a sort of like a cardboard insert, which I'll probably throw away because I do want to sleeve these up, and then maybe use the dividers to set those out. So I'm going to move that aside for a minute. Let's have a look at these cards. Right. So this is the larger deck. And so this is a card for a specific case. So this is for the case 01. Looks like this is an evidence of that. So these are case specific cards by the look of things. Yes, these are witnesses. Are they witnesses? I think these are witnesses. Yeah, it says witness at the back. So I guess these are different witnesses, and these are, again, the witnesses are case specific as well. So let's go through these in a bit more detail. Yeah, so gives you the symbols at the top. These cards are more relevant for the defense by the look of things. Artwork seems decent. You get some flavor text. You get action effect. Yeah. I like the art quality on these. Again, this is it definitely is veering towards realism more than anything else, but it's done well, so I think it works quite well in this context too. I mean, if you look at this blood-stained dress, and again, so I mean, just based on the crime, obviously some of these are going to be a little bit more somber, or maybe even gruesome, but they're not bad. These are, I'm very happy with the artwork on these. I wish that the artwork encompassed a lot more surface area in the card itself, but I guess this maybe makes it a little bit more functional. I don't know. But it looks like there's a lot of unique artwork going on in here. Yeah, and then you have these witness cards. Again, artwork is veering more towards realism than anything else. And overall, I think it does a pretty decent job in terms of what it is portraying in here. So I'm very happy with these. Stock quality, I might have mentioned, is all right. So physical quality of the cards, decent. Artwork and design and layout of the cards, at least at first glance, you know, still haven't played it yet, but at least at first glance seems decent as well. So I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing here so far. So we'll move these off to the side and crack it at the next one. See what's happening here. Right. So you get more of these cards. Again, these are case specific as well. Lots of unique artwork. I really like this, I have to say. And again, this I'm guessing is case 00, which is related to the art. I don't know if it was art theft or forgery or whatever it was, but you get to see a lot of artwork in the artwork themselves, so that's neat. Yeah. Burns family murder. Well, it's going to get serious at some point, I guess. I'm maybe going to scan through these a little bit faster because I don't want to be stopping on cards that might act as spoilers for people. But again, the one thing that, from what I understand about the game itself, is that for these cases, there is no one specific solution. So it's not like you're finding out more about a particular story or a plot, depending on the case and how it plays out. The prosecution might be right at the end of a case, or the defense might be right at the end of the case. So it can veer based on the cards that are out there and sort of like the story that gets portrayed through the gameplay itself. So there's nothing spoilery in terms of what we looked at. So I don't want you guys to be too concerned about that. It is meant to be an infinitely replayable game from that point of view. It's not a one and done kind of a thing. So that's there. This does not seem like a card specific to a case, because I don't see a case number, so we might be looking at sort of like the prosecution cards or the defense cards at this point. You can make arguments, charming demeanor, key evidence, counter argument, discredit the witness, tamper the evidence. Yeah, all there. These are all for the prosecution, and then you have the cards for the defense as well. You have the media circus argument, you have the no for the questions argument. I mean, it definitely soaked with the theme of a legal drama. I'll definitely give it that. It is pretty neat. Now this is a bit interesting. Like a lot of the artwork that we saw on the other cards were definitely more realistic, whereas these seem less so, might be one way to put it. Yeah, so it seems to be a bit of a mixture in terms of the art style on some of these cards. Again, I mean, if you look at this versus, I'm just going to pull this one up. So let's say, for example, if you look at this judge card, and then if you look at the kind of art style that you have on this one versus the kind of art style that you have on this one, this is more realistic versus this is more animation style. Not a big issue in the grand scheme of things, but just felt interesting, and I just wanted to point that out, so that's there. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the quality of what I've seen in here. Now, this is not an inexpensive game. It's reasonably priced, again, considering the size of the box and what you get inside. But the components that you get in here are definitely solid and are ones that I'm pretty happy with and satisfied with. And the theme definitely seems to be front and center with the rules and the mechanics and the components that you get in here. So I'm very excited to dig into this one further and try it out for myself. But in the meanwhile, that's all you get in the box for Lawyer Up. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll hopefully have the tutorial for this up sometime over the rest of the month. So if you do want to keep an eye out for that, as well as other unboxings and tutorials and reviews and whatnot, subscribe to the channel, and that way you get notified when and as those go up. But in the meanwhile, thanks for watching, and I will see you at the next one. Take care.